everybody, it is Charles and Tessie again in Love and Law. And today we will be speaking on lessons.
No losses.
Just lessons.
That's it. So, if you guys like what we're talking about, of course, feel free to like, subscribe, share. We try to share our journey of blending families, running a law firm, business, life, love, and all those things with you. So, again, please hit the notification. New episodes come out every Thursday at 12 o'clock, and we'd like to share this journey with you. So, of course, let's get right in it.
So what lessons or what would you like to start at? What the transition is always rough.
Okay. So, Adira. Okay, so I think on jumping right into no losses, just lessons. I think for me, the biggest thing that comes out to me is my childhood. And coming back, as a lot of people would define this as a loss because of some of the things that I had to overcome as a child. The loss of not having a father in my life, and a lot of things that, when I think of losses, I don't think of necessarily an actual physical loss. I think of negative things in my life that would be deemed as a loss. The loss of a father, or the loss of my traditional type childhood because I was 15 and pregnant. So I lost a lot of opportunities because of the situation that I put myself in by being a teen mom. So for a very long time, it was a heavy burden for me. It was a very hard situation, a lot of embarrassment, a lot of shame because I was a teen mom. And when you realize that you are where you are and you have the cards you've been dealt and you can waddle in it, or you can get up, plant your flag, and move on. Step left, move forward. And when I owned it, this is who I am, this is where I started, and this is where I'm going, it literally became an inspiration to so many other women, whether they were teen moms or not, about how you can have such a tumultuous start and still move forward with such great success. So I do not consider me being a teen mom, although I do not recommend it for anyone. It is that loss or any kind of setback is what I'm defining as a loss. And you have to learn to take the loss and turn the lesson into something bigger than the obstacle that was before you. And so my teen parenting taught me a lot of lessons on perseverance. It's taught me to take a little of something and make it into something bigger, how to pivot, how to be resilient. It helped me develop the ability to see around corners, just a lot of different things that I had to learn how to pivot, keep your head on a swivel to make it through certain things. And it's where I kind of sharpened those tools very early.
So how do you apply those things now?
Which part? There's a lot of them. How do I apply which part?
Pivoting.
The ability to pivot is just something that I have to do, I feel, in any point of the day, from the smallest things, like who's going to pick up the children, to, shuffling around an employee in this position because somebody's out, or changing a strategy as far as this, I was going to do this marketing campaign and I need to switch to this. So there's a lot of pivoting that has to go on, even with us. There was a time that you had surgery on both of your feet, had to pivot on how we're going to get through the day, the daily chores. It's not always something so monumental, but if everything becomes a mountain, nothing will get done. And so you have this little small temporary loss, setback, and you have to find the lesson in it and move on. And then you find that strength in knowing that you can get through different things. So there's really not losses. Everything that you go through, there is something to be learned from it. And more times than not, it is something positive. It's literally, truly how you choose to walk through it and own it. I can't even tell you how many people will say, oh my gosh, it's such an inspiration that you're a teen mom. I would have never thought that would have been anybody's response to being 15 and pregnant, to being a high school dropout. And if I literally could count the people that have said, oh, what a story, that's so inspirational, you should write a book, or this or that, how did you do this, how did you do that? And it is an inspiration for other people. I didn't see it then. And when I definitely didn't create it for anybody to think that it was an inspiring story. But if it can help someone else learn whatever their situation is, that you too can pick yourself up and push forward and count the lessons from it, because you're going to get knocked on your butt. I don't care what you do, teen mom or not. You get married the traditional way, graduate college, get married, buy a house, 2 kids, whatever. And you're still going to have some lessons to learn. So if you focus on everything as a lesson and not consider it a loss, it will be what you think it is. Look for the lesson in every situation.
But it probably, I guess my question to follow up to that is then it taught you how to be a lot more intentional early on. And when I say intentional, as far as because I've had these deficits or I put myself in this situation, I need to now be intentional with the moves that I make going forward.
No, I wouldn't say that's that at all. It didn't teach me how to be intentional. In my experience, and I'm just talking about my experience, some of these stuff you just can't plan for. It's just going to be what it's going to be. And when something happened, I have to deal with what is now. I'm not intentional. This is what I have. It's like looking in the pantry. I have this, I have these 5 ingredients. Dinner's going to be from what we have, not because I was intentional about it. Guess what? We're having waffles and sausage for dinner because there's no ingredients to make spaghetti. I wasn't intentional about only having waffles and sausage. I'm just saying this is what we have. So, hey guys, want to have breakfast or lunch? Yeah! And everybody's happy. And it doesn't matter what we have for dinner. We're eating. The lesson is that we have food to eat. We're together. We're warm. We're safe. Let's eat and watch a movie and still hang out. It didn't have to be spaghetti or this or that or whatever. But the lesson is learn how to make do with what you have, because the end result was to make sure the children were fed. And if that's what was done, then, hey, plant your flag today and celebrate the little things. They ate dinner tonight and I didn't.
So what was the thought process? Because again, most people would think, okay, I have all these things stacked up against me. I'm going to give up, or I'm going to just be comfortable where I am, where there's government assistance, or I'm not trying to move any further. I'm going to live in this. What was your thought process of, okay, this is where I am. How do I get out of it? What were you thinking? Like, okay, I've had this one. Now I dropped out of high school. What next? How do we get to the what next?
Well, for me, the what next, I guess if we're talking about how did I get past being a teen mom and moving forward to the next step, for me is it was never a landing place for me. So it wasn't what's next. I always wanted to be an attorney. I always figured I was going to be an attorney. So it was just the next step. It was literally sometimes semester through semester, make it through this semester, make it through this semester. And then when you make it through that semester, okay, here's the next one. And just looking at right in front of me. Sometimes you can't even look 5 years down. Shit, I got to make it through the day. I got to make it through this week. I got to make it through this month. I got to come up with rent money this month. I'm not talking about what I'm going to do 6 months from now. Focusing on what's in front of me right now. That's all I can do. Don't ask me for anything else. I'm going to put these babies to bed, go have me a glass of wine, and watch some stupid TV. I want to watch something I don't have to think about. I want to watch HGTV. I want to watch Nick Cannon, wilding out. I want to watch something that's going to make me laugh or make me feel calm with a glass of wine and a bubble bath. I couldn't always focus down the road. Sometimes the goal is just to make it to the end of the damn week. And so I wasn't intentional all the time. I wasn't intentional like I'm going to be a lawyer in 10 years. No, sometimes I had to make it through the end of the month, end of the week. And so making sure that I stayed focused on the goal in front of me. I had a long-term goal. And I had a right now today goal. What is the goal today? Right now, the goal is today. When we're done taping, I have to go get my tag. My birthday was yesterday, October 5th. So I have to go get a tag for my car. That's really my goal for the day. If I go to bed tonight and I renew my tag, it's a win. I count the little wins and I count the big wins. I got to go get my tag today.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
That's what I'm saying. So they're not all life goal, I'm going to do. No, sometimes it's just to make sure I get my tag before I get a ticket for not having my tag renewed on time. But what is it for you? When you say, okay, life lessons, no losses, how do you take your losses? Let me ask you this. Tell me one of your biggest losses that you turned into a lesson.
The biggest loss that I turned into a lesson was losing my dad at 12. And I feel like that is still a lesson that is still ongoing. When you kind of go through some of those things, you think to yourself, like, this is a lot. Why? But I feel like in that situation, that has made me a better person from the standpoint of just being more appreciative of sometimes the times that you have to spend with people. And at some point, it was still a learning lesson in that, because in parenting, I think we had spoke about it earlier where I said it was, I kind of treated people like they were always, they could come, they could go, they could always go. But then in that flip side of that, it's treating them like they can always go, and your children, making sure that you have a lasting impression on them. And you don't know, I don't always get it right. I can recognize that, but there's two lessons even in that. With the first child, there were some mistakes that I made, and now the mistakes that I made with that one, I'm trying to learn from those to now do better with the next child. So that was one of the not necessarily losses and lessons. And then the fact that I know that I didn't get it right, it still gives me the opportunity to fix it. So it is an opportunity to make it better. So I say that in saying that there was many lessons in just that one experience of, I lost my dad at an early age. It taught me to appreciate things a little bit more. It also taught me in parenting how to be a little bit more intentional with the time that you have. So, and it's still ongoing. It's still ongoing in that.
So I want to clarify. I want you to tie together two things that you said that seem at opposite ends for me. You said losing your dad taught you to be a little bit more intentional with your parenting, or to spend more time with the kids, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But on the opposite side, you said it also made you not get too close because you always felt like they could be taken away. And those, to me, because I didn't experience it, seem like opposites. How can you not get too close because you feel like they can be taken away, but it also taught you to be more intentional and spend more time with them? How do you do those at the same time?
You don't do them at the same time. It was part of, I guess, the process of how we had step one of he passed. Step two, treating people as if they're not permanent in your life. And then step three, once you've kind of had the time to process that because these people aren't intentional and they may not be here, then you need to value those moments that you have. So that was part of the process of that lesson. It wasn't, it didn't happen all at once. It happened over many years. So that was how that came to be.
The thing about you losing your dad, this is a really crazy thing. When I tell you, this man is obsessed with his father in the most loving way, and he knows. We've talked about it, or I've talked about it, shared it with many of my friends. We have a 10-year-old son, and when we met, my tubes were tied, and he wanted me to at least try to have a child because he wanted his son to carry on his name, his father's name. And we didn't do that till 8 years. We were married 8 years before we actually tried it, because honestly, I was hoping he was going to change his mind. And he was not. He was so serious. And so I had my tubes untied, and we ended up doing in vitro. And it was just learning him and the relationship that he had with his father. And I tell him this all the time. I literally gave you a son because of your father. I decided to do that for the love that you have with your father. I've never seen or experienced that for myself, and the love that you have for your father. And I just thought it was incredible that you had him for 12 years, and for him to have made the impact on your life in 12 years was absolutely insane and the most beautiful thing that I had ever seen. And you wanted to honor him, and as your wife, I wanted to be able to do that with you, to honor your dad. Your loss of your father was such a lesson in my life about what a positive father and the love of a father could do for a child in 12 years that I had not even experienced in my life when I met you and I was 33. Your father gave you in 12 years, but mine didn't give me in 33 years. And the loss of your father really taught me it firsthand that love of a father. And that is the reason why I untied my tubes and decided to try to give you a son. Only God decided it was a son, because if it was a girl, you'd have had that too.
But I mean, and I was fine with that. It was just to be able to have the experience of being a parent with your child in the house. That was one.
And by that, you're saying because
Whether it
you
was a
guys
girl
have
or a boy.
broken up, but he
Yeah.
wanted to raise the child full time and not have to co-parent outside the home.
And
Hmm.
then I mean, in just with that loss from it was so many things through the the in vitro process of having a loss there and being able to deal with that. Um, Working at the fire department, and sometimes people don't always make it. There was and just being able to deal with that and move on and not ball up in a corner and just throw off your whole day and be distraught from just that one lesson. It has went so many different directions
Hmm.
that it kind of comes up. I don't want to say day to day, but it has helped. You have something traumatic happen to you, and just being able, okay, I need to keep pushing. I need to keep moving forward because it's this isn't the end. There's more in store.
When we met, a lot of the losses that we had, whether it was in our marriage, that like we tell everybody, it is battle tested. 18, almost 18 years married, 19 years together. There's a lot of losses, and we lost a child together. We had a miscarriage with in vitro, and then we had our son. Those losses were the foundation of the comeback. It's not even a comeback. It was just the foundation of what's to come, and you take your lesson from that, and then the next thing that came was always greater than the loss we had before. I've talked to you, of course, about it. That as much as it hurt losing your father, there's so many positive things. It sounds crazy to say that, but there's so many positive things that came from him, um, that came afterwards after him losing his father. It wasn't a path down a dark tunnel. Being a teen mom wasn't a path down a dark tunnel. Even in our business, we've had some hell of a losses. We've tried some things and lost. We've lost employees. We've lost we've just
But
it's it's
it's
it's
one of
always
those.
better when we look back. The next year it was always better. Remember like our first house when we were going through foreclosure. Would you have thought then the car that we had got repoed? Would you have thought then, okay, this is the car, like where we are now, the houses we have, the cars we have, the places that we are now. If you would have stopped and waddled in the loss, we would have never experienced where we are now.
No, I wouldn't have thought it, but it's funny now because we'll come to these situations now, and it'll be something may happen where you think you're getting derailed, and then you kind of pivot and
And
look
now
like,
we know.
oh man, something's good's about to
Oh, it's
come.
about to come.
It's about to come. You know
Yes.
what? We didn't this didn't happen. Oh, that means we on the way. Because it's those I guess as you term them, those losses that people consider or that negative thing, that means you're progressing. Because you can't progress without problems. And those problems are opportunities to either show you the way to pivot. It's when the I guess other people would view them as the negative situation arises. It's like, oh, we on our way. We got to figure it out. This is about to be our
But
opportunity
we
to
did not
really.
learn that on our own.
Oh no, that was
And
a
we,
lot of head bumping.
but not even just head bumping. We were very intentional. When I say read books, I mean listen to books because we're more audio book type of person.
Absolutely.
But there was a lot of audio books, a lot of coaches. We spend thousands of dollars every month on coaches, mindset coaches, business coaches. And so we have learned through intentional training to focus on the positive. If I have a problem, there's not a problem that I'm going to have individually that other people don't have. So whatever problem comes our way, we understand that it's an opportunity to create something. And so when I have a problem, especially a big problem, I almost get excited about because it's an opportunity to create a solution, not just for me but for other people. And so we have a lot of
That took time.
opportunities. For sure, it took time. That's what I'm saying. It took a lot of time to look at any problem or any loss as an opportunity has presented itself to create something or to do something. Now it's so funny because we've experienced this in the last week or so where we literally are just getting frustrated with this personal situation and we're like, it's coming, it's about to be something great. It's about to be something great. Like you can almost feel the energy, like that law of polarity. On the one side of negativity, the beautiful, successful
But how long did you
story
hear
is on the
that?
other side of that.
How long did you hear it before it actually made sense, or you stopped long enough to listen? Is it what? That's not the first time that I've heard. I've heard that throughout life, and it wasn't. I don't know what pivotal thing happened, but it was. You can hear something 50,000 times, and you'll tell me something twice,
Yeah.
and somebody else may say it, and that day it resonated different. I'm just
Mm-hmm.
saying, what can you put a finger on when it recently? I guess.
When it starts to literally click. You know, the thing is, even though I didn't know the laws that we're talking about, universal laws, even though I didn't study it or know it or like tap into it, then it was happening whether I knew it or not. I just didn't know that's what it was. Staying positive. For me, it was I had to stay positive. I had to learn how to pick myself up and keep going because I had children. It's so crazy to think about that, but having my children young gave me it just gave me a will. It wasn't even that I had a choice. I had to get up. I couldn't sit and waddle in any loss. Like, get the hell up. You gotta go. You have children depending on you. And I didn't have a rich family that I could depend on. I didn't have anybody. I didn't feel like I could depend on anybody else but me to take care of them. So I didn't have the opportunity to sit and waddle. So even now, have just developed my life. I have a situation where I will be sad. I can be frustrated. I can be irritated. I can be all those things. But it all has a shelf life, a very short shelf life, because I have things to do. Regardless of how sad or how irritated I am, I promise you, today at 6 o'clock, 6:30, the three little people are looking at me, pick them up, they want dinner, they want bath, they want a story, and they don't give a damn about all the adult things going on. And so, get up, figure it out, move on, and by the time you keep going through your life, sit, talk with you, have a couple of glasses of tequila or whatever it's going to be, go for a walk, watch a movie, whatever it is, and just work through it. Because as I remind myself every time, I assure you the sun gonna set and the sun gonna rise tomorrow. It's all temporary. It is just all temporary. So it's not that easy. It's not that easy to just say that I'm saying that now, but I'm just saying, regardless of if I'm sad or I'm pushing through, the sun will set and the sun will rise. So you have to keep moving because everybody around you will. Everything around you will. So, be sorry for yourself. It's not going to do anything. Feel it, experience it, and then step left and move forward. Because if you don't know how to step left and move forward, your ass going to get hit by a truck. Step left and move forward.
So, what's one of the more recent situations?
So, I have an attorney that has been with me, and we've become friends. And we are no longer on the same career paths. You know, the firm no longer meets his needs, and like we're just not aligned anymore, business wise. And it is not personal for me. I like him as a person. I like his wife. Like, he's our friend, but his career is his career, and I don't take it personal. I would never want to selfishly say, stay with my firm because I like you as a person. It's his whole career. It's his family. Like, you know, you have to do what works for you. And our growth doesn't work for everybody. Some people like smaller firms. Some people like bigger firms. Some people want to stay in this pocket with a smaller firm, you know, less than 10 people. And so we don't align on where we're going. And it was very sad. And I was very sad. Like, it made me emotional. Because as you said, it felt like the band was breaking up. Like, we've been together for 3 or 4 years. Like, when we started this growth journey, he was one of the day ones. And so I was not surprised. I was not surprised because, again, I know him. We've become friends. I'm not surprised, but it still hurt a little bit. But if you think for a second it's going to stop what I'm doing and what I'm trying to go, I'm going to feel the hurt. I was sad all weekend over my birthday. I was sad this morning. But at the same time, that has a place. And I will be sad. We'll still meet up, hang out, maybe grab lunch. But I'm going to step left and move forward. What I'm doing is still what I'm doing. And so it's not a loss. And I know in that space, the right attorney who is growth minded, who wants the firm to go from 5 million to 10 million or 15 million, that's the attorney I need. If it's not a good fit for him because he needs a smaller firm, and so he's not going to be a good fit for us because we want a bigger firm. If we're no longer aligned, I do feel like that is a loss. But the lesson is you have to be in sync with people who have shared goals and visions and be aligned on your journey. Because if not, they can slow you down or knock you off track, or we can slow him down and knock him off track. I want for him what he wants for himself. And so I feel it as a loss. But the lesson in that is always surround yourself with people who have shared goals and shared interests. We can have different opinions about how to get there, and I think we come to the best solution that way in collaboration. But if you want a 3-man ship and I'm trying to build a better version of the Titanic, we're not working in the same place. And so that's the lesson in that. Make sure that everybody has the same mission, the same goals, want the same culture, and that way you have the best product. In my opinion, just my opinion.
That's a good opinion. Sometimes you say some good stuff.
Anywho, what is a loss that you have had recently? And so I talk about the business. What's a loss that you have had in our marriage or with the children? And this is unscripted, so I'm interested in this conversation. It's interesting.
I mean, there's a couple, but I would say the biggest, most recent one was I looked at. We have now the new responsibility of these 2 grandchildren, and I viewed it more as being a problem, where it was. I don't want to say a problem, but a burden, and changing my mindset to now, and everybody always just says, "Oh, you're blessed to be a blessing." It sounds good when you are the other one that can say that, not the one that is waking up to the blessing and dealing with the sickness of the blessing and now rearranging your whole life and you moving totally different. And that was it was an adjustment. And
For sure.
I think that changing the mindset on just it in general, like, this is a blessing. We got the opportunity to really change these young girls' lives and give them opportunities that they may not have had if we didn't step in. And once that changed, then, there were other things that started to follow behind, like waking up and seeing that smile. Amara smile, ooh, she cries so much. But when she smile at you, it makes it worth it. It makes it worth it. So that was one of the, I guess, biggest lessons that I had to learn of changing your mindset and then looking at it on the flip side of it. Like, nah, you got an opportunity to do something special with them. And some of the things that I learned and errors that I may have made mistakes with, some of the ones that came before you, now I have a chance to be able to recognize that issue and correct it going forward. So that is something that now, I look at it as being the blessing that I think everybody intended it to be, but being sleep deprived and exhausted didn't allow me to see that at the time. So that is that's one of my biggest.
Well, I think with the babies, we got one when she was 6 months old, and then the next year we got her sister when her sister was 6 months old, and they are 1 and 2. And in March, they will be 2 and 3. Their birthday is 10 days apart. So we were on a path, a different path for our life. We didn't see starting over with, a 6-month-old and like, okay, we'll make this adjustment. And then next year, here's another 6-month-old. And their parents are just not in a place to take care of them for health reasons. So we have them, and it's a permanent assignment. And so it was a loss of time. But it was a loss of our time
And energy.
and money just because we have to divert it to something different. But the blessing is that we're in a position to do it. We're healthy enough to do it. We're financially stable enough to do it. And the lessons is that we are more resilient than we thought. Once again, we have this situation, and we've been with one of the babies now. The oldest, 2 years, September. So, yeah, September last month. We've had the oldest one for 2 years.
But having 7, get you ready for just
For
2?
He said we can do this with our hands tied behind our back.
We had 5 in the house when we went done. 2?
There's 6 in the house at one time.
Yeah.
So having done that and had multiple children, it was kind of a readjustment. But folding them in and having been parents for so long, we can kind of
Tag team. You get the diapers. I'll go get the wipes.
yeah.
You give them the bath. I'll grab the pajamas. So it prepped you.
Mm-hmm.
That's those lessons. I think they prep you for what's to come.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So
But I think it's been a lot of challenges. Again, it's hard when I think about it to say the losses of it. I don't really see things as losses anymore. I see them more as an obstacle, and obstacles are to be overcome. So we're talking about losses that are really lessons, but even the definition and define them as a loss seems a little out of whack for me because I really don't see anything as a loss. Even the loss of my father in January didn't feel like a loss. We didn't have a close relationship. But even when I lost him, I was very taken back and very surprised by how emotional it made me. And I was saddened because it felt like now it's permanent. I'm not going to ever have that relationship with him. But the lesson in that was similar to the same thing that you were saying. The lesson in the loss of my father was to just be more intentional and spend that time with my children and be the parent and put forth that time in any relationship. Wasn't just with my children, but it made me stop and hug my friends a little tighter and be more intentional with my kids or with you or whatever, but just love on the people that you love. And so I didn't even see that as a loss. I really don't see too many things as a loss. If it's a loss, I mean it can't be changed for me, and most things can be. Whatever it be. I just can't imagine if we lost our house tomorrow, we lost our firm tomorrow. I have every confidence we would step left and move forward and figure it out. You said don't sound that bad.
No, some of the things sound like a
Listen,
blessing.
we can lose the house. What, baby? We can get a cute little condo downtown.
What are you telling?
That would be amazing. You don't even have. We don't need 6,500 square feet. Just a little car.
One more time. Say
Say
that again.
Two-seater. That's not what's going to happen. But I'm just
No,
saying.
I'm talking about we don't need what?
Yeah, you saying we don't need a big.
Wait, let me talk it in the microphone. We don't need what?
Listen, I'm just saying if we didn't have a 6,500 square foot home, it wouldn't be that bad. We could do a studio. This is all I'm
sorry,
saying.
I'm having one of my moments again. You said we don't need what?
My point, Charles, was.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
I'm just saying things that people would consider a loss.
Oh,
if
that part.
If you lost your car and I lost my car, I wouldn't even be mad. Like it like the attachment to okay, take my car tomorrow. I'll buy another car, and it don't even have to be the same caliber of a car. I'm just at a place in my life.
I will appreciate not having a car payment.
That part.
And so I'm just saying. So you talk there are some lessons, but I learned them quick. No car payment. So
hey,
say all those things that at the end of the day, it's how you view things, and those situations. If you look at them like, what could I have learned from this? If you truly look at it, because no one's perfect. We try to practice this, and it's some days it's easier than others, but the attitude and how you view the situation is going to dictate what you get from it. And if you look at it like, what could I have learned from this? Then in that situation, it's going to come out to be a positive thing because you're better after the fact than when you started it.
Because even if the situation presented itself again, you've been there before, and now you know how to come out of it a little bit better. And now it won't take 10 days. It might take 6 days. It won't take 6 days. Now it's 2 days. Or you can prevent 50% of what you went through from happening again. So it's impossible to go out of it and not learn anything. You have to try real hard to stay ignorant. So you look at what you went through, and when you're looking for what you could have done different, how you could have made it better, what can you take away? What is your takeaway? What is your takeaway from losses, no lessons? No losses, just lessons.
My attitude.
What is your thought from today?
It's my attitude and how I look at it. That was something that one of those things, and some of the guys that I know from college, it was a poem we had to memorize about attitude. And it wasn't till way later in life I understood what that poem that our coach made us read every day in film room about attitude. And the longer I live, the more I realize attitude.
I would say my thought for the day, my takeaway from the day. I think attitude is very, very important. But I think for me, the word of the day would be opportunity. Every loss and every problem that I have has always presented a bigger and greater opportunity, whatever it is. And even if it literally, if I lost my car and I had to walk to the store, I'm going to look at it as an opportunity to get some exercise, an opportunity to get a better car. Whatever the situation is, it's just looking at every situation as an opportunity for a bigger and better tomorrow. And that literally was our slogan for a while, is that we help good people in bad situations transition into a better tomorrow. It is all about stepping left and moving forward. And so every loss that you encounter, find the lesson that will help you step left and move forward. That's my thought for the day.
Hey, fellas, it's Charles again with TDE, Family Law and Divorce Attorneys. I just wanted to give you a little bit of information, tell you what we're here to do, but I understand that you're probably looking at this because you're going through some type of situation that we can assist you with, whether it's your baby mom, whether it's your soon to be ex wife, whether it may be just a parenting thing that you're going to help another family member with out. Um, it's trying, it's stressful. This is a marathon, not a sprint, so nothing's going to happen quickly. The other thing that I want to point out to you is we're here as a resource. Whether you watch our social media ads, whether you tune into our podcast, you can like and subscribe, but hopefully from watching this, there's going to be more information that you can get. One way that you can get one of those resources is just by calling our office. We have people that are there to answer the phones, and they may be able to point you in the right direction. I know that you may have friends or buddies that have went through the court system and you're like, I'm absolutely against child support, but your child may be used as a pawn, or maybe your kindness is being taken as hostage. I'm here to tell you that me and our group of attorneys with a greatly skilled team are here to help you. Look us up on the website, and then from there you can schedule a call. Yes, sometimes these things can be expensive, but anything that you feel is worth it, you always find a way. And if you find your way to our law firm, we are here to help you